Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Toronto Online, where we gather to seek, connect, and serve. We welcome you, whether you're joining us from around the corner or around the world, and whether you're a longtime member of this community or visiting us for the first time. As we begin, we acknowledge that wherever each of us may be located, we live and work on unceded or unjustly taken lands of Indigenous people, which were colonized by white settlers. Here in Toronto, within the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Ojibwe, Chippewa, and the Wendat. While we cannot undo the past, and we understand that the past informs the present, we are committed to working on ourselves and as a congregation toward an equitable and just society. I'm Angela Clausen, Director of Lifespan Religious Education, joined today by our AV technician, Justice Carr, Reverend Sean Newton, Dallas Bergen, Director of Congregational Music, and pianist Adam Sakiyama. Reverend Lynn Harrison is away this weekend doing professional development in spiritual care, and she asked me to send her best wishes this morning. And now, as we begin our service, I invite you to light a candle or chalice if you have one handy, and to join with us in our chalice lighting words. As we light our chalice, may its flame kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the glow of love, the fire of commitment, and the light of truth.
These words from Jan Richardson. Think of the year as a house, door flung wide in welcome, threshold swept and waiting, a graced spaciousness opening and offering itself to you. Here, let the weary come. Let the aching come. Let the lost come. Let the sorrowing come. Here, let them find their rest, and let them find their soothing, and let them find their place, and let them find their delight. And may it be in this house of a year that the seasons will spin in beauty, and may it be in these turning days that time will spiral with joy. And may it be that its rooms will fill with ordinary grace, and light spill from every window to welcome the stranger home. From our many and varied paths, we arrive here as individuals to build up a community of love, commitment, and hope. To give expression to the highest aspirations of our congregation, let us now join our voices as one in the words of our covenant. Love is our doctrine. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve life to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all.
Good morning to you all. I am happy to bring you news from the life of our congregation, which I must say is buzzing today. After the service today, there will be a newcomer welcome room at 11:30 for those who are new or newish to our congregation. It's an opportunity to learn more about First and to ask whatever questions might be on your mind. The welcome room, which will be hosted by Dallas Bergen and Diane Wagner, can be reached through a separate Zoom link, which Dallas will post in the chat at the end of the service and which can also be found on our homepage. And if you are new to First, know that we are absolutely delighted to have you with us and invite you to say hello using the link in the top right corner of our homepage or the link that Dallas will post, where you can let us know that you are here and interested in getting more connected. Now I want to draw your attention to three very important events in the next week. Today at 12:30, we will gather for a congregational meeting to learn about a potential new home for First Unitarian. We've been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time, so I hope that you will join us for the discussion today. And then next Sunday at 12:30, we will hold a second congregational meeting in which the members of First will be asked to make a final decision on the purchase of the proposed building. Given these two major meetings this week and next, we won't be holding breakout rooms immediately following the service today or next Sunday. We will instead be encouraging you to take a break, to have lunch, and then begin entering the Zoom meeting room between noon and 12:30 so that we can begin these congregational meetings on time. And as it turns out, First Unitarian isn't the only place to engage in the democratic process these days. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., we will be hosting what we expect to be less a debate and more a thoughtful conversation with the candidates running in the federal election for the riding of Toronto-St. Paul's. Carolyn Bennett, Sydney Coles, and Phil DeLuna have all confirmed their participation. Details in the link can be found under the events section of our website, as well as on our Facebook page. Finally, today's service is largely centered around our annual ritual of water communion, which we will be sharing this year together but apart, with each of us, of course, participating from our own homes. This means then that each one of you is being enlisted this morning to serve as worship leaders. Before we move to water communion ceremony in a few minutes, I encourage you, if you haven't already done so, to take a trip to the kitchen to gather up a pitcher or even a glass of water, along with a bowl in which to pour it. You may also want to have a tea towel at the ready in case it's needed. And then I'll give further instructions when we reach that point of the service. But now we turn to Angela Clausen, our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, to lead us in another ritual to mark this turning time of year.
Thank you. This year, we join many other Unitarian Universalist congregations coming together in this time of transition and season of new beginnings to honor all those who are starting afresh as they return to online or in-person school or to the next season of the roles they play, whether paid or unpaid, with what's known as a blessing of the backpacks and briefcases. Whatever you carry with you that represents connection to others, to learning and growing, or to your sense of purpose, be it a backpack, a diaper bag or briefcase, a stethoscope, your phone or laptop, even a keychain with its keys to transportation or shelter. This ritual is not just for those who carry backpacks or briefcases, but for each and every one of us who might like to participate. So I'll start by inviting you to ground yourself in feeling the weight of your body on your chair or couch. Feel your feet root into the earth and allow your gaze to soften. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. Breathing in, feel your connection to the strength of this gathered community of memory and hope. Breathing out, feel the power that rests in your heart, mind, and hands to bless the world with your gifts of love and service and commitment. Breathing in, cast your mind back to the generations of Unitarians and Universalists, of those you may claim as elders or ancestors who met difficult times and kept going. Breathing out, feel the unplumbed depths of the wellspring of your being, of your connection to the spirit of life from which you will draw strength to carry on amid uncertainty. Breathing in, bless the object you brought with you, symbol of the possibilities that await. Breathing out, send a blessing of hope and good wishes to all who have gathered here today. Know that this power to bless is a mere breath away and always available to you. You are part of a network of mutuality, part of the web of life. We and the wider web are better because of you, because of your gifts and blessings. I invite you back into this space now with open eyes and open hearts. Each day, through things going right and things going wrong, through temptation toward doubt or division, may the blessings given and received here be a constant reminder that the power to bless is in our own hearts and minds. May we each and all go forth to love and bless much. So may it be.
I invite you now into a time of thoughtful contemplation or meditation. These words coming to us by Teresa Soto. This is called Broken Shell Song. When I was a child, someone told me that if you hold a seashell to your ear, you can hear the ocean. When I was in middle school, I learned that what you hear is not the ocean. It's just the blood rushing through your ears. And that's fine. But I wonder if a broken seashell has any good kind of song. The song of half a wave might be a measure of grief. The Bay of Fundy when it is empty. The bacteria flats in Yellowstone, steaming copper and blue, smelling of sulfur, and somehow a cradle for life. Anklets of kelp forest. Even mostly empty, the ocean cannot help but brim with tokens of aliveness, reminders of beauty, and the plain, unabashed assurance that broken things, seashells, people, and times of love have beauty all their own. If we can dance in the offbeat, if we can stand a little grit with the gorgeous gifts of this wide world.
I have often heard people say that September feels like the real start of the year. That certainly rings true for me, and I imagine it does for many of you as well. Today, we gather as this beloved community of memory and hope where we draw sustenance and strength to begin a new year in the life of our congregation. Among us, there have been many journeys over this past year, though most of them likely unfolding very close to home. Some of them have been physical, some of them mental, some emotional, and some spiritual. I suspect some of our journeys have been a combination of some or all of the above. Over the next few minutes, we invite you into a deeper reflection on the meaning of this past year and whatever journeys you have found yourself on. With words, music, and ritual, we encourage you to give thought to the meaning and the memories that you carry forward with you from this complicated time, a time with both challenges and blessings that have surely sometimes all been mixed up together. Our Jewish neighbors are in the midst of the days of awe, the high holy days, the 10 days between the Jewish New Year at Rosh Hashanah and the Day of Atonement on Yom Kippur. It is a time for real self-examination, for looking back on one's actions across the year, a time for seeking forgiveness if needed from those one may have harmed, and even working to make amends. It is a time to repair one's relationships with others, with God, and even with oneself. In other words, it's more than a wonderful way and worthwhile way to begin a new year. In a similar spirit, through our ritual this morning, let us mark the turning of the season by looking at our lives with intention, giving thought to our experiences over this past year of grief and sadness, of rest and renewal, of transition and change, of gratitude and joy. For each section, I will offer a few words for meditation, and then we will have a time of reflection with music provided by our team of musicians and members of our choir. Take in these moments to sit and savor your experiences. After a couple of minutes, I will invite you to pour a portion of your water into your bowl, giving symbolic substance to your reflections. We will do this 4 times, so apportion your water as needed. And after pouring, you may wish to write a few words in the chat to share your experience with others, or you may wish to hold these reflections in the silent sanctuary of your own heart. While I won't be reading the entries aloud, we can all receive the gift of other people sharing, holding the joys and the sorrows shared, knowing that what touches the life of one of us affects us all. Let us begin. To center us on the place of grief and sadness in this past year, I offer you Marnie Harmony's poem, I Say It Touches Us. I say that it touches us, that our blood is seawater and our tears are salt, that the seed of our bodies is scarcely different from the same cells in a seaweed, and that the stuff of our bones is like the coral. I say that the tide rolls in on us, whether we like it or not, and the sands of time keep running their intended course. I say we have to go down into the wave's trough to find ourselves, and then ride her swell until we can see beyond ourselves into our neighbor's eye. I say that we shall never leave the harbor if we do not hoist the sail. I say that we have got to walk the waves as well as solid ground. I say that anyone who goes without consciousness of this will remain chained to a rusty anchor.
Salt water in the afternoon, so scared of seeing you. Salt water end of spring. So tired of hiding me. Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over. Sunrise when you call my name. Oh, I thought you had something to say. When the tide washed me in, you and I no longer a thing. Unrepentantly I've waited for you. Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over.
Some of us here have had experiences this year that came near to breaking our hearts, experiences of such deep loss and pain that we shed countless tears. Today, let us pour out the waters of grief and sadness.
Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over. Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over. Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you Come to the ocean, even when you're broken. Come to the water. Let it wash you over.
Turning now to transition and change, I share this poem by the Japanese poet Kuroda Saburo. I am completely different. Though I am wearing the same tie as yesterday, am as poor as yesterday, as good for nothing as yesterday, today I am completely different. Though I am wearing the same clothes, am as drunk as yesterday, living as clumsily as yesterday, nevertheless, today I am completely different. I patiently close my eyes on all the grins and smirks, on all the twisted smiles and horse laughs, and the glimpse then inside me, one beautiful white butterfly fluttering towards tomorrow.
Come to the ocean, even when you're broken. Come to the water. Let it wash you over.
Some of us here have had experiences this year that brought large or small shifts in our lives, in our bodies, in our families, our relationships, or our work. Today, let us pour out the waters of transition and change.
Come to the ocean, even when you're broken. Come to the water. Let it wash you Come to the ocean, even when you're broken. Come to the water. Let it wash you over.
Turning now to the waters of rest and renewal, I share excerpts from Ogden Nash's poem, Pretty Halcyon Days. How pleasant to sit on the beach, on the sand, in the sun, with ocean galore within reach and nothing at all to be done. No letters to answer, no bills to be burned, no work to be shirked, no cash to be earned. It is pleasant to sit on the beach with nothing at all to be done. How pleasant to look at the ocean, democratic and damp, indiscriminate. It fills me with noble emotion to think I am able to swim in it, to lave in the wave, majestic and chilly. Tomorrow I crave, but today it is silly. It is pleasant to look at the ocean. Tomorrow perhaps I shall swim in it. How pleasant the salt anesthetic of the air and the sand and the sun. Leave the earth to the strong and athletic, and the sea to adventure upon. But the sun and the sand no contractor can copy. We lie in the land of the lotus and poppy. We vegetate calm and aesthetic on the beach, on the sand, in the sun.
Come to the ocean, even when you're broken. Come to the water. Let it wash you over.
Some of us here have had experiences this year that gave us respite from our usual pace, leaving us feeling rested and renewed, ready to face the months ahead with energy, optimism, and hope. Today, let us pour out the waters of rest and renewal.
Come to the ocean, even Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over.
Now turning to the waters of gratitude and joy, I offer you Mary Oliver's poem, Don't Hesitate. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give into it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb.
Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over. Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over.
Some of us were blessed to have had experiences this year that elated us, brought us times of deep gladness, experiences that lifted our hearts and made our souls sing. Today, let us pour out the waters of gratitude and joy.
Come to the water. Let it wash you over. Come Come to the water. Let it wash you over. Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over. Come to the ocean. Even when you're broken, come to the water. Let it wash you over.
If you're willing and able to do so, I invite you to take your bowl into your hands and perhaps even lift it for others to see. Here, mingled together in our many bowls, is the water that now represents the stuff of our lives, our dreams and our despair, our hopes and our heartache, our gratitude and our joy. In all that has been shared, may we find the common but sacred bonds of our humanity, especially as we hold in our hearts all those joys and sorrows lifted up today. Looking forward, we cannot know what the year ahead will hold. What we can know is that within the sacred circle of this community, we will surely experience the full range and depth of the human experience, that there will be triumph and tragedy, pain and ecstasy, joy and sorrow. So it is to live, so it is to be human, so it is to share and strive to build up community. Though we are together apart, may this water and all that it represents serve to remind us of the deep bonds that are so often hidden by our outward differences and the distances between us. In the year ahead, may we recognize our kinship in spirit and in need, and may we make these relationships real in our words and in our deeds. You may place your bowl back on your table. As we close this ritual, I now pour into my bowl here at home water from this small container that holds water from our many past communion rituals, going back as many years as anyone can now remember, with drops of water from every corner of this good green earth. And swirling it together, and then pouring in a bit more proxy water from us all. Refill the container with water to carry from this year's ceremony into next, when I hope that we will have the option of meeting together in person again. Our ritual doesn't necessarily end with the close of the service today. There is still the matter of what to do with the water that you've poured. If it is practical to do so in your setting, I encourage you to return the water to the earth by pouring it outside to water a tree or a plant or a flower, or perhaps to water a houseplant indoors. However you choose to empty your bowl, may you do it with intention and with gratitude.
Drawing together all that we have shared with one another today, and the shared history of our interconnection as a part of this congregation and with the wider world. I invite you now to join your voices in our closing hymn, Love Calls Us On.
Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings we have known, with a pledge to one another that we journey not alone. Joy and sorrow make us wise, kin to all that lives and dies. Love calls us on. Love calls us on. Words and deeds of those before us waken here to keep us strong. Blend our voices with the chorus of creation's living song. Courage bids us lift our eyes upward to the shining skies. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on. Loyal guides in love and duty, lead us with a trusted light. Blessed are they whose inward beauty shows the path of truth and right. Honor is their earthly prize. By their work we realize faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. We have shared a radiant hour when the truth has made us free, and the Spirit's gracious power dreamed of good that yet shall be. Bright the path before us lies. Joyful pilgrims now we rise. Life calls us on. 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 Life calls us on.
As we close the service, I invite you to join me in extinguishing your chalice or candle if you have one burning. Our benediction words are from the poet Lucille Clifton. It's called Blessing the Boats. May the tide that is entering even now the lip of our understanding carry you out beyond the face of fear. May you kiss the wind, then turn from it certain that it will love your back. May you open your eyes to water, water waving forever. And may you in your innocence sail through this to that. Blessed be.
And yes, reminder, there are no breakout groups today. So invite you to have lunch and check in advance of our 12:30 meeting so that can start promptly. To newcomers among us, we will have a brief newcomer information session where Diane Wagner and myself will be able to welcome you, posting that link now in the chat. You can also find it on the website. Thanks so much for sharing with us in our water communion service today. Hope to see you at the meeting today and in the week ahead. Be well.